why things haven't changed in 10 years? Is it the people? Is it the government? Is it a mix of both?
Well, for me, the big problem is, and we saw that after the events in February, is that, the problem is we always go back to business as usual and too quickly. And that's always the most difficult thing when you see things like that happen, is that it's the time to react. It's the time to break with the way things normally take place and ask the real questions and be in a cooperative attitude with people and a democratic way of dealing with these problems instead of everything being so descending.
And being in a country, France, where there's 3 million plus unemployed, business as usual means basically no jobs, no opportunities, and very few educational possibilities.
Right.
That's core, isn't it, to the problem?
Yeah, and what I find surprising is, when people ask me if kids in the area are don't have any hope, I don't find that at all. I think that, I'm surprised usually, in fact, for me, at how positive that, that they move forward and that they're doing studies and, and I don't want to be angelical about the whole thing, but I'm always surprised at how it's the opposite to that, and that I feel rejuvenated because I see their desire and I think they also believe that this is the generation that's going to change things, And there's a little bit of the Obama effect going on in France as well, where you see I work with journalists who are young journalists who have made it in France, and the thing is, there's always that danger that we think everything's getting better because we say, hey, when we see the names of the reporters on on TV or the news or whatever, it seems like that things are changing, and they are changing, but not. It's all on the surface for me.
You don't see enough black faces in, say, television news. You don't see enough black people in positions of authority. If you go into a building, and I hate to say this, you'll see black people on security. You won't see black people behind desks doing the kind of white-collar jobs. Now, that's something that has to change. Why isn't it changing?
It's trying to change from the
inside. Is it institutional racism, do you think? Is it...
There's a little bit of that, but I think there have been huge efforts made with that. I know that I worked with Sciences Po and HEC and a lot of the big schools, and there's a huge effort that's been made in that. And there are a lot of kids in the neighborhood who have gone to Sciences Po and HEC, that live around.
Great, that's good.
So that's a huge change, but I think it needs to be more than that, because not all kids can go to HEC or Sciences Po.
Exactly.
So it's like the rich and the poor. The spread becomes larger and larger.
So opportunities need to be found for people who don't have that academic gift to go further. Can I just stop there and ask you about your role, what you've been doing, and how you hope to help the change?
Well, I don't know so much about, of course there's a question of helping the change, but the main reason I do what I do is because I love it so much, and because that I found my place in what I want to do. There is a part of it that's about wanting to help. But first of all, I always compare it to when you get in the airplane and they say if this oxygen mask drops down, if you're not in an attitude of taking care of yourself first, and taking care of your own needs, then you can't help other people. That's a basic understanding. But I hope that what we do changes people's lives. But anyway, it does automatically. That's something I've realized, that I can let go of that and say, anyway, anything that we do impacts other people's lives, and their lives impact us. So that's a given.
What you're saying sounds like how I approach my job, and I hope that I can help people see change and affect change. But can I ask a final question to you? Do you think that enough young people have the strength and the motivation to turn away from obvious temptations of crime and maybe finding the less positive routes in places such as Clichy-sous-Bois?
I think the majority do. I know La Courneuve, the Cité des 4000, better than I know Clichy, but what I see in the local neighborhood there is that, and you can see pictures from the Banlieue is Beautiful that I did at the Paris de Tokyo last year. And, the thing is, there's the majority of the people, I think people like anywhere, want to contribute something positive. And that life, that vivaciousness, life is just as present there as it is anywhere else. And that's what really makes me angry, is that we give this notion that life is not the same. It's not as rich. It's not as beautiful. It's not as happy. And that when we do that to so many million people, that's a crime.
Monte, I'm looking at the images of your project. It looks fascinating. I'm listening to what you're saying. I completely agree with you. I was brought up in a place that's very similar to the place you're describing. And the people there are great and can be great and can do great things. And so you're helping, and that is to be applauded. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Monte Laster from the French-American Creative Exchange, working in the banlieue here in Paris to make a difference. And I think so, you certainly are. Great to see you. Nice to meet you.